show. I am the notorious B.I.V. And this is my boy, Paulie G.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. And we, today we're talking about dad jokes. And we are both dads. So I guess maybe we're qualified to tell dad jokes. But here's the thing. So when did dad jokes become dad jokes? Like,
it seems like it's been a fairly recent thing.
Yeah.
Maybe like in the last 5 years or so, maybe?
Yeah, like in the last couple of years, people said, oh, this is, there are dad jokes. I don't get it. Like, so what makes something a dad joke? Define a dad joke, Paul.
I guess dads are notorious for telling bad jokes. They think they're hilarious. So then it's like, oh, that's a dad joke because dad thinks it's funny, and we're all groaning.
Yeah, but I remember when we were kids, we told jokes all the time.
Right?
Like jokes were something we did, and I don't know. Do kids tell jokes these days?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, in class, if I say, does anybody have a good joke? There's always kids who have jokes. They're like, oh, here's a good one,
All right. So at work, there was this, we have Slack, which is just like, I don't know. It's like a work.
An app.
Forum.
Yeah.
Thing, whatever.
A platform.
Yeah. And so there are different channels on the Slack, like for different teams or for different whatevers. But there's like a dad jokes Slack channel. And I didn't know. I mean, I wasn't aware of it, but like these other guys were like, "Oh, hey, we're on the dad jokes channel. You should get on." And I was like, "No, thanks." I just, because that just doesn't. I don't know. Like they were like telling me some dad jokes, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, great, guys, that's awesome." I don't think I'm gonna be on that channel. Thanks. So, anyway. Dad jokes. I don't know, but it seems like people. It seems like people like it's probably the internet, right? Someone on the internet said like these are dad jokes, right? Kind of like,
yeah, I guess so.
Kind of like when. Do you remember like when mullets became a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like someone said, "Oh, a mullet is when you have like." Short hair in front and long hair in the back or whatever, right? And then like someone on the internet said, this is a mullet. Until then, it was just like, there wasn't a name for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, there was like there was a mullet website. Do you remember the mullet website?
No.
It was just pictures of mullets. And like it would give them like their own unique names. So like,
I think you're right though. I think with the invention of social media, I think then people like, oh, someone comes up with a name for something.
Yeah.
And then that goes viral, and now everybody, and then
everyone calls it.
Yeah, that. I think with social media that influences what people call things, and
Mm-hmm.
inserts terms and words into our language that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, and it doesn't, what? Well, I mean, we have like more, I think we have more of a collective now than we ever have. Right? Because like everyone's, well, it depends though, because like not everyone's on the internet.
People who aren't, though, are pretty few and far between. They're mainly the older generation.
Yeah. But I mean, but there's still stuff that happens on the internet that's like an internet thing. And like, other people out there just like aren't really aware of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some internet drama between internet celebrities or something.
Right. And because the internet has so much stuff on there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like we're very collective in a lot of ways now, but we're also like super like apart in some ways because you can find your little group,
right,
and they'll like you have your little thing over here somewhere on the internet,
right,
and it's like, you know, but
that's true. My students will talk about, oh, my favorite YouTuber is so and so, they're super popular, and I'm like, I don't know who they're talking about.
Yeah,
but I get on YouTube all the time, but I'm looking at, you know, what I'm looking at. So
yeah. Have you heard of Andrew Tate?
Oh yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't heard a thing about Andrew Tate until like just a little while ago when he got arrested or whatever.
Yeah.
For sex trafficking.
Yeah. What a great guy.
Well, and I mean, depending on who you talk to, so there are a lot of guys though, like Andrew Tate, that are coming out now on the internet. And I feel, maybe we can talk about that for a bit. So I feel like, you know, there are always extremes, right? And it seems like people are trying to force everyone to the extremes. You know? Like you got Andrew Tate, you got like the Andrew Tate guys who are like, you know, oh, men need to be this, that, and the other, you know, because you know, everything's,
well, they're fighting against the other extreme, right? They're fighting against,
yeah,
feminism and, you know, all this sort of thing. So I'm going to fight to the other extreme where I'm going to say, oh no,
yeah,
you tell your woman what you want her to do, and I can date as many women as I want to, but she can't date anybody but me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so now you're going the way over here, which is totally not politically correct. That's not what you're going to hear at work or in social media or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not from the majority anyway.
But I think so like their justification. Well, so I guess my message would be, you don't have to go to either extreme. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like their options, those aren't the only options.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it seems like, you know, they're presented as like, these are the only options, right? You can be like, you know, an alpha male, Chad, cool, you know, dating, getting all the chicks, or you can be like a beta male, weak, you know, male feminist guy who, you know, who watches while his wife cheats on him or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, no, those aren't like the two options, right?
Right.
So anyway, but I think, but I think the Andrew Tate guys are like, you know, it's kind of like, well, I mean, they say they're dealing with reality, right? Like reality is this way, you know, like feminism and no fault divorce and all these things make it so men have to like look out for themselves, right? They have to like, or else, you know, you're gonna marry some chick and she's gonna, I shouldn't say chick because that got me in trouble at work the other day. Anyway, that's the sexist term apparently. I don't know why. Like I don't care if people call me a dude. Like, is that, you know, is that sexist? Dudes and chicks, like that's, I don't know, whatever. So, so I get, so these guys are saying you got to be in like the top 2% of guys, right? You have you have to make a lot of money, and you have to be fit and in shape, and you've got to, you know, whatever. Because the top 2% of guys are the ones that are getting all the chicks. And I said chicks again, but
well, and
it's my YouTube channel, and I can say whatever I want.
Mathematically, you can't get more people in the top 2%.
Well,
well, if you're like, hey, everybody, you should all be in the top 2%, well, that's impossible. You can only have 2% in the top 2%.
Sure. But
I guess if you had more people like the people in the top 2%, then it'd be like, oh, now the same kind of people are in the top 3% or something.
Well, the reason they say that though is because, like, I mean, we're not that global yet, right?
What do you mean we?
As
Are you talking about men? Or are you talking about?
I'm talking about men and women.
Uh-huh.
Like women don't, like, I don't look out there and say, oh, well, Kim Kardashian, I don't know. We'll just say Kim Kardashian is like, oh, she's really good looking and she has a lot of money. I'm gonna go pursue her, right? Like that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh yeah, there's Kim Kardashian, whatever. I'm like dealing with the women that I have access to here, like in my community. And granted, like there are like apps and things where it's like
people meet people online all the time.
Yeah.
But you're married, so.
Well, yeah, I'm married. That's one thing. But like on a dating app, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like I think on any given dating app, you know, it's like, it's true. Like the top 2% of guys or whatever, they're gonna be getting all the messages from all the women.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And generally women get a ton of attention on the apps, and men get very little, because like unless you're like one of the cool rich guys on the app, like you're not gonna, like, why would the women be going for you, right? But that's just that app, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't think the world as a whole works that way.
No. Like, so I have two brothers who both met their wives online, and I don't think either of my brothers would fit into this top 2% category. I think
value man.
I think their wives fell in love with them because they're the kind of people that they are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not because they're buff. It's not because they're rich.
Right.
It's because they're the kind of people that they're interested in, that they value, you know.
And that's the thing, like love, it always comes down, like the guys like Andrew Tate are on, like, they're like talking on this macro level, right? And it's like, and love or relationships come down like to the micro level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like any two given people, you know, when I met my wife, for example, you know, I didn't have to compete against some Andrew Tate guy, right?
Right.
In his Ferrari that was like, oh, hey, you should go with me instead, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Andrew Tate was off in Dubai or whatever, trying to pick up some Hollywood chick or whatever, right?
Right.
Like I'm not competing against Andrew Tate. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, but some of what they say is true. Like you should try to be like the best you can be.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like you should like
brush your teeth, take a shower.
You should brush your teeth, you should take a shower. you should have a job, right? Like
try to make the world a better place.
Sure.
Be nice to other people.
Sure. And you can but I mean,
tell good dad jokes.
Yeah, I guess.
Just trying to bring it full circle where we started off with dad jokes.
True. So yeah, I don't know. The other thing too is people try to take the emotion out of relationships. They try to make relationships into math problems, right? Where it's like,
yeah, I need it. I need somebody who fits these qualifications, and they're like, oh well, you meet 5 out of 6, but this one's really important. You don't.
Well,
you don't meet this qualification, so sorry, you didn't pass.
There's that, but I'm saying like people will say, okay, you know, if I'm rich and I'm good looking and I have a nice car, then you know, then this woman will be attracted to me, and then I'll attract like a high value woman. Like I'm a high value man, I'll attract a high value woman, and then
the funny thing is, though, none of those things have anything to do with whether you're going to get along with that person or not.
Right. And like, yeah, that's true. Like personality wise or whatever, how you're going to fit together. You know,
or if you're a kind person, you know,
yeah,
or your philosophies on life, what you value in life.
Well, I just feel like like these types of people, they're just looking at like
superficial.
Yeah, kind of superficial. Well, it's like in pornography, right? Where it's like they show you the sex act, like they show it happening, and it's like this is sex, right? But like there's way more to it than just the physical act. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, so to teach someone, oh, this is sex, like by having them watching a porn show, like they're not getting the whole picture.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I mean, it's like when, you know, there are all these like goofy like porn tropes or whatever, like the pizza guy that's like, oh, hey, I brought you your pizza. Oh no, I don't have any money. How am I going to pay? You know what I mean? Right? Like, and we just smile and go, oh, that's silly stuff, right? That's silly porn stuff. Because like that would never happen in real life. But like, so real life is different, I guess, I'm trying to say, than like what you would see in that thing. And it's different than what these guys are presenting online as, you know, this is how it works.
Right.
Because it's like, because there's more to a relationship than like, oh, does the guy have money? Is the woman hot?
Right.
You know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I've heard people say a good measuring stick to see if whether somebody you want to be in a relationship with is how do they treat like the waiter, how do they treat like the janitor, like how do they treat somebody like that,
right?
And if they're rude, you're like, okay, well,
like if they're nice to you but like they're not nice to anyone else,
yeah, like, right,
okay, maybe that's not a good thing, right? Or like,
do they put the grocery cart back when they're done at the grocery store?
There you go. Yeah.
That's the measure of a high quality person.
Yeah.
Well, for some people.
Yeah. But I mean,
some people value that more than how much money you have. However, if you cannot manage your money, lots and lots of marriages, even if you get along really well and you're attracted to each other, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't know how to manage your money, if you're constantly, if your finances are a disaster, no matter how much money you're making, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That can be very, very stressful in a relationship.
Right. Or like you can't hold down a job, or, you know.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, so to some extent, yeah, you have to have like, you know, if you're a man, you have to be able to, you know, hold down a job, you know, provide some sort of something, right? And you have to, and I guess And there are a lot of neat. Oh, we're at 20 minutes, aren't we? Crap. You have to provide the other person something, right?
Humor, dad jokes.
Humor, dad jokes. But you have to provide value to some extent. But like value is different to everyone.
Right.
Like, and I call them deal breakers, where like, you know, for me, this is a deal breaker in a relationship.
Right.
You know, if you're not providing me this, then why am I even here? Right?
Trust. If I can't trust you, I think that might be a deal breaker.
Trust, sure. I mean, but like, I don't care if my wife doesn't cook me food, for example. Like, I just don't care about that. Like, I can make myself food.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that might be like a deal breaker to someone. They might be like, I really need my wife to make me food. Like, I feel loved that way or whatever, right?
So when you post a thing online, you could be like, looking for someone who will feed me.
Yeah, exactly. So we could go on and on about this stuff, but
this was interesting. Not what I expected.
We only scratched the surface.
About dad jokes.
Yeah, dad jokes.
Can I tell you a dad joke?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. If you feed a man a fish, then you feed him for a day. But if you feed a man a puffer fish, you feed him for his whole life. Because the puffer fish is poisonous.
I know he's poisonous.
So then he'll die. So you fed him for his whole life.
Ah, I see. That's sort of funny, I guess.
If we have to explain the joke, it's not very funny.
Yeah, it was good. No, I was like, no, I kind of got it. But I was like, but he's dead. No. You poisoned him?
You fed him for his whole life.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. There you go.
Maybe I should have worded it, you feed him for the rest of his life.
The wisdom.
Maybe it was the wording.
The wisdom of dad jokes. So, until next time, everybody.
Peace out.